It's time for a second series of the day here in the Galaxy Battles SEA qualifiers, first major of 2018. And all of these teams, they want to try and punch the ticket. GeekFam coming in through the open qualifiers, facing up against XctN. Again, an upper bracket match in a double elimination bracket, which feeds into single elimination bracket, where Fnatic and Mineski are already waiting for one of these teams. One from Group A, one from Group B. My name is DragonDrop. I'm joined by Mr. V, and we're gonna say Beastmaster. Again, not banned out in the first game of the series.
Yeah, it does a lot in providing vision, definitely offering like split push with the aura and good pick off with the roar. As you were talking to me before this game started, you talked about how GeekFam really prioritizes the ogre in terms of having that beefy core to kind of zone out enemy heroes from their safe lane and mid lane, and they should go back to that comfort pick as it has helped them get through the qualifiers into this upper bracket.
Played time and time again. They've also looked back towards Nature's Prophet. Puck, also one of the staples that has been banned out already. So maybe XctN doing a bit of the homework, but that does leave the Tiny through. So it's still a hero that probably or possibly wants to try and find his place. But is potentially extremely strong. With status resistance being a very new mechanic.
Yeah.
Even though he's been nerfed quite a hefty amount in terms of right click damage potential, at the very least you get some armor from the ultimate now, so just not stuck on 0 armor the entire game.
Yeah, for sure. I think like just trying to look at the bans here and try to figure out what's the style that XctN is looking at. When they took out the Nyx, I'm like, oh, are they thinking that they want to pick like a Pugner or OD or Batrider? And because those kind of like stand out to me as terms of like heroes Nyx is particularly good against. But with this Beastmaster pickup, it may be more so style that Nyx allows that XctN doesn't want to play up against. They just kind of want to group and not be afraid of Nyx like going off and picking off someone that's split pushing. So maybe they'll get something like they have this Beastmaster Jakiro combo and maybe 1 or 2 more heroes go and push down a lane. In another lane, maybe they have like a Nature's Prophet or something. But with the Beastmaster already picked up, that's kind of unlikely.
Well, what this draft tells me so far from XctN is push, push, push. Beastmaster and Jakiro both able to provide a good amount of that, eventually anyway. Of course, you need these levels into the Call of the Wild, as well as ideally the attack speed aura in a beast, or what it's called.
Yeah,
Jakiro, obviously you need the points into the liquid fire, which is not a build that every Jakiro goes for. I've seen someone, I can't remember names because I'm really bad with that, but I've seen SEA Dota before where Jakiro went for only a single value point up into liquid fire, then max out the ice path together with the dual breath early on, which is extremely powerful as well.
I think you and I were casting that game. That was the same. That was the same series that we casted later on that day. I think Navi played the split push game, and it was either that day or the day before that we saw that Jakiro played. Not sure.
MDL or Summit, one of those.
Yeah, I think it was MDL that we saw that Jakiro kind of switching out. Again, XctN banning out the Night Stalkers. So these kind of like roaming, like Nyx, Batrider, Vision, even with the Puck. Really, I'm trying to figure out what type of core lineup they're thinking about. Like, I suspect that at least one of their cores, in terms of the mid or safe lane, will be making use of that Inner Beast attack speed. So maybe something like Shadow Fiend. Maybe we'll see something like Lifestealer as well. But at this point, it kind of is still up in the air for them. And with this Razor ban out, you could see the Lifestealer more and more coming into the play for XctN.
Well, it went a couple of different ways. When they picked up Beastmaster last, it was in 9 days ago in Dota Cup. XctN went in one game for Silencer, Sand King, Necrophos, and Storm Spirit.
Yep.
The other game, Winter Wyvern, along with the Beastmaster, then Sand King again, and DK and Juggernaut. So those would be something that you could look towards. They also picked up Lifestealer a couple of times, so yeah, plenty of possibilities. They definitely have the range of heroes to fill out.
I wouldn't mind.
They have to consider the Medusa now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the PL for Execration right now. They could go the Boots of Travel route to kind of split push and push out lanes where they can group and kind of force fights and force pushes with the the push potential of Beastmaster Jakiro, and meanwhile just like let PL farm up. PL's fairly elusive and he's not too threatened by Tiny or Ogre. He's got many illusions. And he also can get that mana burn to deal with the Medusa mana shield. But as you said, they go for the TK, which just reinforces the drag and drop, push, push, push.
Well, 2 heads are better than 1, so you have a double dragon already in 1 hero, and then you have add a dragon knight, so it can only get better.
Yeah, they're clearly picking this.
5 seconds.
They're picking this in honor of you.
Oh yeah. Well, they just need another support, and honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be too opposed to an anti-mage even. You have the Medusa, which obviously Ogre Magi can't really do too much with the spell shield eventually. There's a decent amount of lockdown between that and a Tiny, like if you go Shadow Blade or just like Blink Dagger with the Blink initiation with the Avalanche and the Exotossus, but that combo is not gonna make a lot of do a lot of damage either. Unless this is some sort of core Tiny which goes into heavy right click to combo that up with, then I don't think anti-mage is too scared eventually against that either. They have that makes that spell shield and a couple of stat items.
And even with the silencer, can AM would AM really be threatened? I don't think so. Like,
not really. Just need to make sure to get that mental style up against the silencer, and then absolutely fine. And I don't know. I mean, some Medusa was very early pick on a Medusa too, so maybe you have an.
They didn't ban out AM.
Yeah, exactly. So is this some sort of bait? Are they mind gaming us, or are we mind gaming?
I think they take AM right now. Like, I really think they should, because like GeekFam can ban it out next fade, and that's why Execration is sinking right now.
Yeah.
Like, they, as I said earlier, they could go back for the Phantom Monster. They could do another Diffusal, like maybe like Marana type style, which would also work, doing a Manta Diffusal build up on her, or maybe Maelstrom Manta Diffusal, but because she's that innate mana break. And that's why we saw the Weaver ban, actually, because he has that mana break ability.
Yep.
This, again, leaves things open.
Yep.
Could be core, could be a 4.
Hang on, just gonna listen to the stream a bit. And once you have a double dragon.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to
sound so low in chat. I don't think so. I'm keeping an eye on the levels. Should be fine, but yeah. If you guys can identify which one of us is too low or too loud, and that'll be helpful too.
Clearly, they're missing out on the sound of my melodic voice, and they want it to be louder. Yeah, right.
I think you were a little bit louder than me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like keeping my mic close to my face. It's better to be like heard rather than not heard.
Use your voice. That is helpful
clearly.
Advice, not just for broadcasting, but yeah. Last band's coming out. Anti-Mage has not been picked, obviously. Monkey King is dead, so. But he's also a hero that can go for Diffusal Blades, right? And it's also one of these heroes that kind of fits into the idea of, hey, let's push, let's fight, let's punch them in the nose, essentially, before they can really get going and
get off the ground.
It's that, like, you can just throw out the Monkey King ultimate, as long as you're not too far behind. GeekFam will have to respect that, and then they can't defend their towers up against the Beastmaster right-clicking with all of the summons, and Akira with the Liquid Fire and all of that, you know?
Do you see how many Do you see how many healing heroes GeekFam banned out? Enchantress has a heal, Wyvern has a heal, Omni Knight has a heal, and Undying has a heal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they didn't pick AA at this point as well, right? Like, you're not allowed to heal.
You're not healing. Whatever you do, you're not healing this game.
I think it's partially because they know they don't have any wave clear, so they don't want there to be a method for Execration to keep creep waves alive easily. So like maybe they're hoping they can pull off the creep wave with like Medusa, but
Juggernaut that though. Monkey can be that 4-roll. Bounty Hunter instead. So 1 position Monkey.
Yep.
Booty Hunter. He can build Mechanism, I guess. They really
I
want
like
that
this as a
sustain.
response to the tiny silencer ogre, because like these are heroes that aren't like you don't want to like fight up
10
against them
seconds
particularly in lane, and Bounty Hunter provides you that information about
5
where they are
seconds remaining.
and when you can make a move on Medusa.
Yep. How does GeekFam round out the lineup now? So, I'm gonna ask these questions. Is this a support tiny again, like, or roaming tiny like we saw in the last series? If so, that would mean core Medusa obviously, but also core silencer, which would probably put the Medusa in the safe lane, which then would mean that you're looking for an offlaner here.
No, I think
Choose
But
your
they
hero.
say no, not doing that at all.
yeah. I think
I-
that
yeah.
you're comfortable with Medusa mid, which is why they go Drow.
Then go like offlane tiny?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Again, I mentioned earlier how Canuck is swearing by that as a very viable option. You can go for some sort of dual lanes probably.
Yeah.
Depending on the kind of pressure down bottom. I think Drow should be relatively fine against the Beastmaster, which just wants helping out.
I'm just really concerned for the Drow versus the Monkey King Bounty Hunter
Yeah.
combo, because there isn't like a really good save strategy for the Drow. Like she can't build
10 seconds remaining.
Shadowblade because of the track.
5 seconds
If she
remaining.
builds Manta, like that kind of works at addressing the issue, but she needs a way of like getting out of the Monkey King ultimate. So she definitely, I think, needs to build Hurricane Pike this game. The question is, how do they force fights from GeekFam? Like GeekFam, like what are they going to do? They're going to global and then run at you with Ogre Medusa Drow and hope to
Yep.
slow you down and force you to fight them? Like they seem to have like this weird
yeah.
fighting dynamic.
I think they just want to push themselves, but it's a different sort of push. Like it's coming online much later once the Drow gets extra levels and extra agility. And so that plus Medusa, you have all the right click in the world. So that's all the push that you need essentially.
Is that a pause?
There was some sort of pause apparently. Just got resumed. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
You can do that after the draft is done. No one disconnected. Teams sometimes do that rather than just pausing right as the game starts. I don't know.
Anyways, game one. Here we go. XctN versus GeekFam. GeekFam coming through those open qualifiers, I think you mentioned to me earlier on. So they get a chance to kind of prove themselves first against a fairly established team. XctN hasn't had too many breakout performances over the past year, but they definitely are themselves looking for an opportunity to kind of break into one of those major tournaments and start with the all chat.
Captain Bye. Not sure what that means. But yeah, XctN, they're definitely forced to be reckoned with inside the SEA scene. But as you said, not craziest breakout performances. They've been to some lands, haven't they? Am I just maybe I'm just misremembering that too.
I think they've done like
30 seconds.
They've done okay, but they haven't ever like been like, oh, watch out for XctN. They're a wildcard team, or like they're a dark horse this tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how they
they did Rock Masters, not sure if that was on LAN. That was just online qualifiers. Dota Pay months ago. I don't know.
At the international, they placed 13th to 16th, so.
Oh, so overwhelming. Right? Again, also to be reckoned with. Definitely coming in as the favorites in this particular matchup up against GeekFam. But again, you said like, curious to see what they can bring to the table with this Drow strat that they pulled out of their hats. Again, they have to push eventually. They just need to be able to get off to a good start.
Beastmaster doing the Beastmaster thing.
Yeah.
Is
it a Beastmaster thing at this point instead of a Bedrider thing?
It's a strategy to address these types of non-stunning, non-punishing range support core dynamics, I think.
Yep.
Because if you can't, like, you can't trade versus a silencer with glaives in lane.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? You're going to pull the
your free
wave,
level
right?
two
He
as well,
can't
yeah.
stun you and stop you from doing it.
Yeah. Especially useful here with the offlane getting harder with creeps. Normally meeting just so much closer to the safe lane tower. You have to almost rely on these kind of things to live, to get something out of this lane. Finally didn't do it, he's still level 1. He's must already ahead. Also not getting a lot of help down bottom. Meanwhile up top, it's full on tri lane now. They don't get these kills on the Beastmaster though. It's not, they're kind of just wasting time, and that's more space for middle lane to for Raging Potato to just be a little bit more annoying to chew on.
To be fair, this Tiny's actually been doing quite well in terms of getting XP in this lane, especially versus Monkey King. Monkey King with boots is a scary thing to deal with as he tries to pull the wave here. He tosses it in. Does this work? This works.
Oh wow. Oh, I was looking at top here because Orgametra just barely TP'd out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did do that. No fools. Why not?
Yeah. This is a good way to secure CS as well.
Yeah.
And
If that range right click is like, you can match up with the Monkey King in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also get the extra range actually? Yeah, I do, right?
Yeah.
Attack range 350. Monkey King is what? It's also 350 base?
Yeah, I think so. It may be 325, but I'm not sure.
I think the circle is slightly smaller.
Dire's top tower is under
Hover over the
attack.
stats.
This toss strategy actually works quite well versus the Monkey King. And he can see us from a distance by throwing trees if he really wants to.
It's also maxing it out, so kind of trying to limit the cooldown as early as possible, but it's only gaining in 2-second intervals. You get a CS like that, it's not like the PA dagger where you can just spam it non-stop.
Yeah. How's the CS looking mid? DK outclassing this Medusa at this point. Could just be more competitive experience. James doing very well here. DK with that Breathe Fire. He has the Soul Ring, so he can spam it out and reduce that Medusa's damage further.
Being offset somewhat here by the Precision Aura, but it's also just Raging Potato. He's spending a lot of time in mid.
Yeah.
And GeekFam, they're not rotating any of his balls to deal with that. I gotta wonder if that's the play. I mean, you're spending 2 supports time. Okay, you're stacking, you're pulling, you're just securing farm, you're keeping RR out of lane, which is probably the biggest part of it. He's still level 2. So his early start and really helping establish a foothold in this lane, but is that worth it in the end?
Like, Tiny did alright, I would say, in his laning phase initially. He'll probably be zoned out now that Monkey King is getting closer to phase boots. I'm not sure if he's actually... They're on the courier, and they, like, stopped it for a moment there, and that confused me, but... Like, you have to be very scared of a Monkey King with phase boots or Venom running at you as a melee core.
Especially with the Jakiro there as well. He's level 3, so 2 points up in the dual breath.
Bounty Hunter mid may get the courier.
Oh, they know. They know. Or maybe it's just going somewhere else. Never mind. It just get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Akira is very curious here in that regards. That level 1 of his spells are kind of garbage. But level 2 is just such a big upgrade. I mean, you look at dual breath. It's straight up doubles the DPS. 140. Liquid fire. Not quite as crazy, but still the cooldown of that.
The slow is good here.
So much DPS. Yeah. A whole lot of damage here. He does have an extra set of tangos, but you need to spend some time until that region's back up to full. And Gabby wants to go for it here. Ah, thinking about the jump.
Dire's bottom
It's on cooldown though.
Immediately.
Primal Spring.
Oh, okay. That explains it. Oh, gonna have a catapult wave coming in next as well. Want to try and make use of that. Meanwhile up top though, Raging Potato making a wraparound play onto Skimbillu. Gonna be a bit annoying, but nothing else coming from that.
Where do you think this first blood's going to happen? Is it going to be Tiny overstepping his boundary? Or do you think they're going to get it top?
Good question. I don't think there's a lot of kill potential inside of Execration just yet. Onto level 2, so I want to say it's down bottom.
Ruin fight, ruin fight, ruin fight! Raging Potato clicks harder, but he may be punished. Oh no, he's okay. Beastmaster.
I think it's gonna be bottom or just some sort of spot rotation towards mid. And then again, both of these heroes are pretty tanky at this point. G1 went up in a mana shield.
And they both have like pretty high amounts of stick charges. I think it's going to be when Drow gets her 6. It's gonna cause some issues.
Closest, not all that far away. I think you gather with the creep wave. Look very close anyway.
Beastmaster does have phase to run away, but
oh, look at this!
Oh, good cut, good cut. They will still get a partial pull, I think. Just 1 creep though.
You also get the bow, and that's make no mistake. If you keep farming that up, it's a huge, huge victory for the supports in particular because it's not just the gold. It's also the experience. Gives a crap ton of that.
Yeah.
Does it say somewhere? I don't believe so.
I believe it's 60, but I'm not certain.
Bottom lane, Raging Potato making a rotation here. Keep rush up in the tower, just keep spamming that liquid fire now with a wraparound. The right click's coming in, stars back, it's hilarious. But now the slows from Raging Potato. Follow with the Battle Stoic, jump into bring it there it is. First blood, I was right. And
Congratulations
not sure about this one. Not sure about this rotation. Yeah, try to turn things around, but just a little bit too late. Lumic will not take. Oh, will he? Will he take out to the thing? He will. Okay, I spoke too soon. But Silencer was not alive, so he didn't get the +2.
He should have bought back to get that +2.
Clearly, yeah.
Well, I call that first blood, second feed.
Never heard that, but it does hit the nail on the head, doesn't it? Oh, look at this though. Middle lane, G1. Low on health, low on mana, finds a region wounds, so Ice Frog is smiling upon him at the very least. Meanwhile, Lume taking the opportunity to rotate up top, make sure that RR is fine. Closing in this level 6, so with the Roar, do you think there's some sort of other kill happening in this lane?
I think it's possible, but unlikely. I brought up the boar stats for you. So the gold bounty for the boar is 26 to 38, and the experience goes from 60 up to 90, depending on the level. And yeah, that 60 experience does add up over time.
Significant. Yeah, okay. Raging Potatoes there, 2 points up on the Showy Toss, so it's a good amount of burst damage too. We'll spend this time to soak some of the experience. Yeah. Points. Still not quite there at level 6. And if Raging Potato shares any experience, then he'll be able to get that with this, I believe. But gonna go anyway. Extra slows, Lumic also coming through. They do low full draw range, and damage over time should be enough, especially with the axes diving through. Maybe not though. Salve coming through. Another right click will cancel it. No casualties just yet. Raging Potato had to walk away. Very low on health. So are Lumic and RR, so.
They have to shrine up though.
Dodged, and yeah, they can shrine up. Doesn't even have to walk all the way back home. Play hard also with TP in from max value. They just leave all the poor guy does not get any of the juice and shrine water.
Like, we gotta get sticking around here.
Gotta be so careful.
I don't see much detection on them though. I think Ollie has a dust.
Ollie has a dust and Silencer. Play hard also has dust. But no sentries or anything to spot out that's don't all play on the invis.
I don't think Raging Potato wanted to take that bounty because there was a dust on Ogre. Yeah. He didn't have enough for both the stun and the ignite though, so Beastmaster has the roar up. That would help them secure the skill. Meanwhile, bottom Tiny definitely getting his experience as well, but in terms of what he's going to offer, it's going to take a little while for him to really come online and maybe get up something like a Blink Dagger.
And so, with the old Tiny that didn't have armor, we saw lots of like stat items with Silence and Yasha and AC eventually, of course. Probably still on the cards for him, but now that Grow does give you a little bit of armor to work with, can you go back to like some sort of Shadow Blade builds or something? A bit more aggressive?
In terms of like the right-click fighting Tiny, I've seen Echo Saber be fairly popular. It's kind of that blink, stun combo, and you double right-click being super powerful. But yeah, that extra armor just adds a lot to the hero in terms of increasing your effective HP and your ability to man fight. So you definitely can go for those other items, but mid lane, the Silencer.
Extra follow-up control here from the Dragon Knight, but they're looking to try and turn this around with the Silence back into the down range. Was not set up anyway. So they get the 1-for-1 trade. Can they get more? James?
Tossing the
toss onto the Drow! What a play! Even dodges that Breathe Fire, I believe. So plenty of right-click damage. Getting down to DK.
New initiation strategy. Toss in your Drow Ranger.
Who needs a Blink Dagger, right? If you have a Tiny who can toss you right on top of somebody. Don't quite have the Centaur or Slada to do that with a Crush, but hey, whatever works.
You know, you could toss in the Medusa to throw the Scream down. The Stone Gaze. Toss her in and have her Stone Gaze and like run away.
Yeah.
So
that would work. That would work if Juan had leveled it.
Yeah.
But so far, it's just maxing out the other spells first.
I think it's way too valuable now. Split shot, how it works in terms of not reducing your primary target's initial damage.
Yep.
If you're not threatened, like you can hold a Valley Point if you really want to, but split shot just increases your farming so much. And same with Mystic Snake in terms of harassing in lane.
Yeah. Look at all these stacks that they've made. Right? They're a bit of an ancient stack. This camp was stacked up a little bit early as well, on top of the one that we saw. Bound to lead a bit of experience off. I believe GeekFam also finished that one off. I'm not 100% on that though. But they are doing a good job just keeping the farm up and running. But they're not doing a good job just scouting this out. They find John in the back, and Global Silence being used to try and give some extra space and maybe set up for some sort of counter. But GeekFam, they cannot walk through the tree. Finds the tree on a tree. That's something. But they cannot make use of that at all. A little bit too strong at this point. Echo Saber, you cannot walk into this movement.
I wonder if
for more, another Boundless Strike, and then some more, but the stun comes out, trading for the Organ Magi. The Ice Bubble will keep Ollie in place a little bit longer. They'll get him instead of the Silencer, but hey, let me speak that. He did get the Bloodlust off the tower, so there's something.
Tiny and the Black Lions taking down the Bounty Hunter, so some semblance of a trade coming through. Yeah. Meanwhile, Drow dealing with this push top lane. She is going like full stats in terms of agility to maximize the damage of her Medusa. The question is whether or not GeekFam will really be able to address the fact that their lanes are being pushed in hard. You talked about the value of these stacks, but if they're not pushing out lanes, they're losing a lot of value in terms of their potential to farm deeper into their jungle. Yep. Like all this, whoopsies, all this area is controlled by the Radiant.
Yeah. Especially Raging Potato, just so useful to have that scouting utility available. That on top of the Beastmaster Hawk, like gives so much vision game inside of Execration. And seen that turn into fights a couple of times already. GeekFam trying to take medicine to their own hands now. They rotate the Drow with the smoke, together with the supports. Right now, all the smoke inking is the tier 1 tower though.
Execration is wise to this, and they're not defending top. Yeah. Why don't we throw Beastmaster Jakiro against that tower?
Well, we're just trying to defend this because we don't have a lot of wave clear really. I guess
tossing that Medusa. Tossing the Medusa.
Free toss is kind of wave clear with the cleave. You have the Mystic Snake, but that's about it really.
I think Execration is going to look to fight here. They know that Silence is it still down from that past fight? No, it's back up now.
Back up now, they're coming in anyway. James gets stunned up before he can do anything. Couple of tracks come out already. Extra control, but James down to half health. Gabby can throw out a Wooker's command whenever he wants to here, but looks like XctN made the call. Let's get the hell out of here. The tree will actually catch out Looming. It was a directed toss, and now Siege Creep following Gabby. Just continue to think, hey, can we turn this thing on the trees? GeekFam don't want
This
to
is what
dive
I was
too
talking
deep
about earlier. How
themselves.
do GeekFam force a fight?
Yeah. They see Gabby here, and this could be really big if they can get the burst on. Jumps down, follow-up stun. Inside the Macropie though, now Global Silence, the roar comes through. GeekFam still going in with a Medusa ultimate to slow down Monkey King enough perhaps to finish him off, and it is enough indeed. That's the big one. And if they can find this Monkey King, all of a sudden a huge amount of execution teamfight potential is down the drain. And again, Torrential toss him full finish. It sounds super silly, and well, that's because it is.
It
but
is.
It seems to be working out.
This is the second time. You know, if I was a drow, like playing drow, and you're like, hey, Mr. V, I'm going to toss you in, I'd be like, no way. No way, this is a legitimate strategy. And Gabby ping it out. Drow Ranger is missing. Be careful, she may be tossed onto you.
The Courier, oh, I was turning around for a second. Raging Potato was looking for it. He was hasted up for a second, but yeah, it's...
They did use the protection thing on it, the shield. Drow opting to go for the Shadow Blade. This is okay if she does finish up the Manta to purge off the track. She can always Manta, then use the Shadow Blade. It's just she has to be careful in managing her actual mana pool in that case.
Yep. Alright, so that's going to be the big question of the game, right? Can GeekFam continue to do that and slow execrations push down enough for the course to really get unstoppable? Because that's the plan, right? We want to have an unkillable Medusa and a Drow Ranger that has plenty of front lines to be able to right click away.
Yeah, they need to take towers though. There's like so much gold on the map. Like none of these tier 1 towers, like I don't think Drow should leave top lane until this tier 1 tower is gone. Like they look for kill us elsewhere. So they see Bounty Hunter, +2 coming right up.
Only second +2 of this game though. But unfortunate for Playhard. Again, very low kill game, which is not characteristic for SEA Dota in general.
Space creation for the Roshan though, clearly.
Yeah. There's even DD outside. Not even taking it for Roche and just keeping it for the fight later. I wasn't worried at all.
GeekFam is not punishing this at all. Like, you remember how maybe like a year or two ago it was established you trade Roche for a tier 2 tower.
Oh, Gabby.
don't
Invis
have
walks back in the central range. Kimbaloo continuing. Take this Aegis away immediately, it would be big, but they follow control there. No blink or anything on Tiny just yet.
Are GeekFam looking to push into the Aegis team? The time to push was a lot sooner. Guys.
That's a top tier 2 here.
Yeah. Deny?
It's gonna
Deny?
die to the creeps here. Maybe not. The net does not prevent the right clicks, so hey, still gets it off.
It's weird how some routes do and others don't.
Yeah. Probably one thing that'll get addressed in some sort of patch. Because,
Please nerf CM, no right clicks.
yeah.
If all rooted.
Yeah, I mean, there's different root effects.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be too surprised to see it clarified at some point. Alright, there's a root from something like Frostbite. And then there's Ensnare from that only keeps you down, but doesn't cancel TPs.
Like Meepo net
Smoke
too.
up there it
as
is.
we have-
They find the bounty hunter. Break and smoke, but the instant dust.
Is he responsible for all the +2s?
Possibly. At least 2
He has
now, right?
support us. I think Monkey King. No, Monkey King right here was also 1 +2. As GeekFam,
Situation.
they may get a tower. Oh, this will be so important for them.
Yeah.
just in terms of establishing as
Smoke will be broken this time with the Invis from the Jar Ranger. We're thinking about maybe fighting it. Gabby's, he wants to. Look at him. Just dancing in a tree. But GeekFam right now in a bit of a too good of a position. I mean, all 5 here. Tiny's still pretty dangerous here. If you get locked on anybody and Jar Ranger and Medusa are not accounted for, then they're just striking you down at this point with the Jar Aura. And there's also the global stance to work with.
this is actually like neither team can really initiate. As a Macy.
That's a rain center, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Extra vision.
Like actually like securing these initiations is really hard for both teams. Like there's Roar, but that's like the only like major initiation I see from either team. Like all these other initiations are kind of secondary. Like
Tiny will have Blink in 50 gold.
oh good, he can blink in and toss someone into his team.
Well,
And doesn't have to toss a Drow Ranger in.
yeah. I mean, I still count Blink Avatars combo as initiation, right? Kinda works.
Yeah, for sure.
It also puts Tiny in front line. Like, he's in off-lane position, so it's not the biggest of deals if he dies versus, like, if he was 1 or 2. So if he dies, if he spends enough time surviving so that Medusa can go in with just the Stone Gaze, just Brian Covering Fire, and the Drow Ranger right-clicking away, that's entire game plan. This is something that XctN will have to deal with. With the Aegis, that's a good start. To try and work around the global science too at this point, James just he's just trying to force up some spells here. There it is. The Wukong's command coming through. Chuyuan, global silence coming through. Now can they get out? But March actually right on top of them. He's cleaving them down. James will fall to the right clicks to reduce exactly what's not supposed to happen. Ring Potato gets dusted up. Couple of right clicks here on him as well as Lou make the toss onto a creep. This time RR he will somehow be able to find a spot to TP out.
Toss the Drow on him.
Oh, Gabby! That was
think
a
the tree
directed
toss
toss. No, it doesn't. Well, it gives
Good
vision
fight
if
for
it
them,
hits. Like, you can toss it in a direction, and if it hits something, it gives vision, but a little bit too late to actually do anything with that. But yeah, it's exactly what I was just saying, right? You have the Aegis, but you can't even make use of it because Gabby can continue that fight because the rest of his team is dying. GeekFam is in a position right now. They can just global silence, run in, toss people in, blink in, just charge, you know? Go YOLO.
Yeah.
Potato, oh, they see him. Do they have the dust? They do indeed. Ollie on the money. What the? This looks so weird. Stunned and tossed and
I find it easy to respect.
Aegis expired on the Monkey King. And is there any stopping of this Medusa push line right now? How much damage is she getting?
Yeah, they're dropping down the Macro Pie on top of the Roar. And now Marshall with the counter. Lumic looks to die. That's another +2. And okay, the stun onto Medusa. He's actually dropping. Now Gabby comes in with a Boundless Strike. Ollie next on the list. Gemberlu has to Shadow Blade away. And Player just has to hold. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie.
Get out of here.
This is pretty damn good. March on his Tiny with the tosses, like tossing Drow Ranger in at the right times, tossing people out of danger. It's a sight to see.
You know, some people may say he's throwing the game, but I don't think so.
Oh my god. Alright, so bring down a Medusa.
That's a big kill.
Yes, indeed.
Puts
Yeah.
them ahead in the net worth.
Let's not forget, XctN have a pushing lineup of their own. Like, both of these teams are in a position where if they win a team fight,
You get punished.
Yeah, you get punished. They can conceivably just push across the map and at least do damage to tier 3s at this point, depending on like where the lanes are sitting and how long the death timers are. It's still only 25 minutes into the game, so it's not too crazy. Just
Necro 3 is coming online for Beastmaster too.
Yeah.
That in combination with Medallion of Courage is like... And drums. He can just medallion the creep that's being attacked by the tower. Drums for bonus attack speed. And his creeps will shred towers. Like him individually is really threatening, but if you combat Like combine him with Dragon Knight, who
Yep.
went for another tankier build up. But mid lane, Raging Potato, I think he's fine.
And it's not just the pushing power from that, it's also the threat potential towards the Medusa. I mean, you see Yuan, he has the Lincoln Sphere queued up. He'll probably finish that before the Yasha, because he also realizes, hey, if he gets roared up, just by the Beastmaster alone, he's almost going to die from that. With the Necrobook doing also the mana burn and everything. Right?
I think he should go BKB. I think he should, instead of going Lincolns, go Manta. As they have Aurora onto the Ogre, they'll leave him to die. And they'll try to punish bottom instead.
Track kill. Gabby's up in the trees. Oh, they almost brought him down. Whew.
I would have to watch a replay. He like dodged the Force Staff, pushed through the trees, and the silence with the leap.
I'll take that.
And the gauntlet there.
Ninja Gabby.
Playing platformers probably, you know. Oh. One extra for bounty hunter.
Patience. Patience, young
What do
one.
they? Another side. Ah, there it is. James coming through though, and trying to turn this around on the silencer. He's gonna get bursted down first, but Yuan will turn things around. The BKB though will still get turned into stone. The right clicks, are they gonna be enough? Well, make a determination. No, not really. Silence on the bounty hunter now. Inside the Macropire.
What was that stun duration?
Kinda crazy. That's another one. Lasts forever. At least that's how GeekFam, how it feels like for GeekFam right now.
And this courier
2.25
is
seconds.
suicidal.
God, what the hell is going on here, March? I think he was trying to get out instead of going in, right? Right into everyone. It's a chain feed, guys. One by one they die. 5 men wiping. Hey, guess what? Don't have a creep up just yet, but if they had, we've certainly been more than one set of racks since then. So
Necro 3 just came off cooldown too. They'd used it top for the kill on Ogre initially, but now it's back up. And suddenly you have 6 creeps hitting your base.
Definitely glyph. So
Now that's a
20
good
seconds
glyph
is
usage. As upon silencer.
Oh no, it just came back. Oh.
He didn't get global off that last fight either, so he had it up.
Alright, so we're supposed to be 1 racks. Now it's turning into 2 very rapidly. I just leave James there. He doesn't even have his ultimate, but it's just RR and Gabby hopping away at these buildings. His commands. One is just going in anyway. He does have Stone Gaze available too, and now there it is. Blink Initiation. They bring down 1, they're looking for 2. That's the bounty hunter being brought down. Double kill for March. They get the punish here. Only lose the mid set. Bottom will regenerate. So execution without a Jakira there, without the dragon form. End up to spring themselves a little bit too thin there, but still.
Silencer's alive. They can go take Roche. This is GeekFam's opportunity to take Roche and then equalize with Raxus. Silencer gets caught by the Monkey King here.
Say after that one. Brutal, savage, wrecked.
That's like a triple die, die, die.
Yeah.
He needs Tiny to throw him out of these dangerous positions. There's Cheese here too.
Maybe this is where perhaps the relative inexperience also hits. Like sometimes it's just one series of events that sends you into a downward spiral, and you don't have the time to really think through what you do, and you don't have necessarily the experience to realize. All right,
do the
yeah,
right thing.
exactly. Maybe that came into play there, and that's that last. And that last
I think
engagement.
this Drow, why are you not finishing Hurricane Pike? It is like the item versus Monkey King Ultimate. You either get yourself out or you can push him out. Like, Drow has the capacity to get Monkey King outside of his ultimate with her Gust and like the Hurricane Pike alone. It's 750 knockback with the Gust with the talent. And then if you also take into account the Hurricane Pike, she can get like another like 450 units.
Well, regardless of that, I do like what they're doing right now. I mean, they did not only secure the base, they made the B lane straight for Roche, like Aegis as well as Cheese and Medusa. And they can kill her once, but can they kill her twice in a single team fight with everything else?
And then deal with the cheese.
Yeah. So basically, Juan has 3 life for all intents and purposes. Problem is up top. Look at this. Gabby is there, RR as well. So if they see plenty of heroes committing to mid, right now they only see Juan. Already TPing out, they have to respond to this up top. It's just the beauty of this kind of a draft. It allows you to do this if you manage to control the nets. Multicast though, Wukong's command trying to zone him out. Gabby still inside, but out of vision range. Yeah.
What's going on mid? They're killing Silencer again with Raging Potato.
This execution is running circles around GeekFam right now.
I think it's just the Silencer that's being caught out. He needs to be more defensive with his positioning. And he doesn't have any items to really make a good clean escape. No Glimmer Capes or ways to perch off the track. Granted, he has no gold, but...
Can't really fight without a global, right? Even with a global, I mean, Bounty Hunter's Lotus Orb. There's BKB on DK we saw earlier. And the start down the works for Monkey King.
I think I disagree with this Drow's itemization at this point.
Also useful to put off Dust on the Bounty Hunter. Good.
The fusel's a good slow, but I don't think that's what Drow needs to do right now. Like, I think having Hurricane Pike into Butterfly would be perfect for her. Burning Mana is going to not offer a whole lot, especially versus like a hero like DK that's low in mana pool anyways.
Might want to be thinking about a BKB because you see that Butterfly on Monkey King. Need to deal with that hero at some point.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
How much extra armor does he get? Plus 20. And I don't know. What do you think? What do you like the extra 100 armor, or the extra ring
or the extra ring? So in this game, I think he takes ring so that his teammates can push. He can like sit down on the low ground, throw up the extra ring, and just let DK and Beastmaster take towers. Because he's got Butterfly. He's fairly tanky and survivable. And as long as he gets off the ultimate, and he's kind of protected by it by just being able to sit on the other side.
He already has 42 armor with the ultimate as it is. At some point you get like diminishing returns, right? I mean, like extra points of armor that you get as much as the earlier points. I think you're already past that when you're sitting at 40.
Yeah, it's like going 100 armor. I think I was in a test lobby and it was, you go from like 61% physical resistance to like 75, as we may have an initiation onto mid.
6175, even in a game like this.
Good silence.
Damage, it's not great, but now Gabby, there it is. Oh no, he jumps out of it. So now it's an opportunity for GeekFam to get more. RR will fall. Nice ice path here, but March with a blink across. Toss back on top of Ollie. Lumic with a ghost up even. Delay his death. But not enough to really keep him alive for a significant amount of time, and that Aegis, it will expire now. Still have the cheese to work with.
I didn't grab the timer on the Aegis, but
it's always at 3 minutes if they pick it up immediately. You can hover over the Roshan timer, and if it's 3 minutes, then it's about to expire. Unless they just leave it inside the pit for like a minute or two.
Yeah.
Nobody notices, but that's like some Midas Mode shenanigans. But hey, look at this. I mean, oh, wow, they are going for the juggler here. 2 years down for another 20 seconds. This could be...
And Tiny with the tree is doing lots of damage too.
It's going extremely quickly. You have a Medusa and a Drow with Aura. Tiny doesn't have a tree. The global silence here. BKB comes out. They have to try and do something here, but it's just wiping away the Ancient. There's no glyph. There's no nothing. Execration just straight up get ruffle stomped out of freaking nowhere. Oh my God. What the? That was Wukong's command being cancelled because he lightly jumps out of it into GeekFam, being able to secure these 2 kills, no buybacks. Execration just lose?
It's over. You get punished.
What the?
You fuck up, you lose. Like,
I was watching it earlier, wasn't I? Like, hey, you lose a team fight, you lose buildings.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's that crazy with Tiny Drow and Medusa, don't just lose buildings, you lose the one building that you cannot afford to lose, period.
And like they took the racks too. They could have imagine if they had bypassed the Raxes altogether and just gone straight for those tier 4s and the ancient.
Yep.
Like that there would have even been even less of a contest there. GeekFam just going for the jugular.
Yeah.
I think that game was like a very exciting game for teams that don't have any initiation. It was very thought out, methodical, and wow, they take game 1. XctN will have to bounce back. Like, and if you look at the net worth, XctN lost with like essentially a 15k goal lead.
Yeah.
Right? Because all that gold differentiation at the end is the racks and the tier 4s, right? So wow. Yeah, that's playing against Drow.
I'm kind of speechless right now, to be quite honest. Like, part of me knew that this was a possibility, but like, Gabby was still alive, James was still alive. It's only Beastmaster and Jakiro missing. But there was more than enough space for them to just barrel down mid lane and just say, alright, we just win the game now, I guess. You have nothing to throw at us. Alright.
That's
that.
That
game
is that
2
indeed. Coming your way soon.
GeekFam with the draw strat coming out of the open qualifiers. They gave XctN something to think about. We'll find out what happens in game number 2. Stay tuned.